Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 134 of Rambling Through Everyday Life with Fran and Angela. My name is Fran and I am one of the co-hosts for this episode. Y'all, I think my favorite part of this week's show is where I try to share the horrible sound that my water bottle makes when I drink from it, and the fact that we had a little technical mishap that caused all manner of laughter. You know when you just hear people laugh and it doesn't even matter what they're laughing at, it just makes you laugh? So get ready. There's a good little chunk where we are just crying real tears. So we're here to serve the people well. Thank you always for listening. Enjoy the show. We love you guys so much. Hello, Angela Snyder. How are you today?
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
It's Saturday.
Mm-hmm. We're recording on an early Saturday, so I feel like I've got my sleepy voice still. Before now, I don't think I've said 6 words.
So who knows what's about to happen on this podcast.
It's early, but we're recording just a couple of days before this releases. So
yeah.
Happy New Week, everybody. We're still into the new year. How's everybody doing?
We have completed a full week of 2024.
Yeah, we have. Pat yourself on the back.
Right. I took a day before I would have gone back to work for all the self-care things.
Mm-hmm, you did.
And it's amazing how that kind of sounds relaxing. Like, oh, I'm not going to work. I'm just going to doctor appointments and getting a facial and just random fun things. But that can be exhausting.
Well, yeah, you still had a full day doing things.
Yeah, but this is your reminder. Go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm, make all the appointments.
All the appointments.
Mm-hmm, I've got to do some of that this week coming up.
Mm-hmm. But it's good. Got a good checkup.
Yeah, we got to make sure we're okay.
Got to make sure everything's working.
Oh man, alive! Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, all the things.
All the things.
You've had a lot going on. You had a fun training.
I did
for YoungLives.
Oh yeah, y'all remember? I don't know when we had Jen Wilson on. Mm-hmm. We'll put that episode in the show notes if you don't know what YoungLives is, but yeah, I was just I've got a couple of different things on my calendar this semester that I have not had in the past, so I'm still just trying to navigate time and how things feel. So anyway, I'm gonna do something with YoungLives, even if it's just showing up to what they call club and campaigners with the girls. So I don't know yet, but I feel like there's something I can give back. I'm just not sure what it is. Because I told Jen, I said, let me back up and say, these are teen moms that are pregnant or have had babies. Mm-hmm. And so I told her, I said, everything in me is like, I want to be a mentor. And then I'm like, hang on a minute. I have a lot going on and I don't want to overcommit out of excitement. So I'm very proud of myself for just kind of cautiously, slowly, but very optimistically moving forward with that.
There's a lot of wisdom in what you just said. Well, holding back just a little, and it's hard to do that.
Yeah, it is hard to do that.
I signed up for 9 million things that I quit because I signed up in excitement.
I won't quit them, but I won't give what I should give to the thing that I'm doing, whether, we're talking about FCA and the different things that we're doing here on campus, or Bible study, whatever. Like, I want to give my best. I want to be excellent in my giving. So that was really a big step for me to kind of navigate this slowly, because I tend to yes, I can do that. And I am saying,
and you
yes, I can do that.
Yeah.
It's just, what am I going to do with YoungLives? So I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned, everybody.
Well, for people listening who remember that episode, or if they go back and listen to that episode and then they go, oh, well, maybe I want to be involved. What does that look like?
Let me tell you. And if you're like, I don't have the time, but you want to help support, just sending girls to camp, if you want to help with diapers, whatever, please, 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 you can let me know or Jen know, and we'll help in that way, because not everybody has time to attend something with the girls, but they're like, I can monetarily give something. So yeah, you can do that.
It's so cool to have a new year and new opportunities.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to be involved in something.
Be involved in something,
whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Can we just say, Angela, for those of you all watching on YouTube, Look what I have in my little
Look
hands.
at Fran. Hold on. We're going to cheers to that. Look,
Cheers.
Look, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Fran is drinking water.
I have water. And then, but what's funny is why, do you put anything in your water? Or is that just straight up water?
Mine is just
Do you put
straight
anything in
up
your water?
well water from Denmark, Tennessee. But sometimes I do add things to it.
Okay, well, let me tell you, people, if you are over the age of 50, I had been out of it for a while, and so I just ordered some new collagen. So I add collagen to my water when I had collagen, but I was out and I forgot and all the things. But anyway, so there's collagen in here because as you age, your skin needs collagen. So anyway, that's what's in my handy dandy water. And then I just want y'all to hear how loud it is. So hang on a second. I don't know if this is going to translate well, but I took a swig out of it just before we hit record, and I just need y'all to listen to this. Just a second. Listen, this is so gross. Can you all hear that obnoxiousness?
You know what? Is it obnoxiousness or is it victory? Because you are drinking water. Okay. It's perspective.
If you hear that horrible sound in the middle of recording, that's what's going on, people.
It's basically a chance to applaud Fran for drinking water.
Yeah,
we won't hit that applause button, but
no. So drink your water, everybody. Serve somewhere and drink your water and get your collagen.
You know, we do have a lot of listeners who are around our age, and we have learned a lot from somebody that I want to mention and link in the show notes. Will you talk just a minute about Dr. Mary Claire Haver?
Dr. Mary Claire Haver is not in West Tennessee, but you can find her on all the socials. So I recommend that if you're 45 and older, she is going to be a phenomenal medical resource for you in the supplements that you need to be taking, understanding your body as you age, what's going on, what you just need to know and be mindful of. And so I order from her. And you can find this. She's also got an Amazon storefront, but you'll be able to find it in the link and show notes through her website. But I get my collagen from her. I get my omega-3, vitamin D, K, maybe it's all combined in a supplement, my turmeric from her, and magnesium from her. So anyway, there's just, as you age and everything changes, your body just needs things. And I deeply appreciate her wisdom and all the things. So yeah.
And you need a coach. It reminds me of what to expect when you're expecting books. When you had a baby, you're like, oh, this is the book that tells me everything I need to know. Yeah. It's hard to find resources now. It's like, well, I don't know what's about to happen.
Right.
But she's great.
Yeah, she is.
And she's like one of us. You can tell she's just a cool, somebody we'd be friends with.
I'm 54 and I think she's 55. So I feel like she's just my sister.
Yeah.
Love, love, love her. So anyway.
Love it.
Okay,
it's 2024, and the last time we recorded a podcast, we were like, oh, this is what I plan to do in the new year.
Yeah.
So I have been very challenged as I... If you are watching us on YouTube, we just had a crash. Hey. If you're not watching on YouTube, pause the podcast and get on YouTube and see what just happened in the studio.
Gosh, y'all, this is what happens when you're dealing with a couple of unprofessional wannabes.
Who put us in charge of anything?
Okay, keep going, Angela. I'm sweating now.
Oh, let me back up and say this, because we talked about show notes with Dr. Haver and with YoungLives. If you don't know what show notes are, when you click on, if you're listening in Apple iTunes or Spotify, when you pull up that podcast to listen to, you can scroll down and find links that you can literally click on to go straight to all these things. Yeah. We still have people from time to time say, you talk about show notes. What are show notes?
Maybe this time, because you're good at it and I still don't know how to do it. So maybe in our Instagram stories, if you follow us on Instagram, you can do a screen recording. You've done that before. Yeah. You may even still have an old thing you can share.
I'm not that organized, but thank you for recognizing that I might be. I will make a new one. Okay,
I'm
so
sweating, y'all. That stressed me out. The whole thing with my phone and recording this video fell forward. I honestly can't wait to go back.
a catastrophic
and
event.
watch that.
I know. That was fun.
I was trying to get something out of my purse because I was trying to be prepared about what we were going to talk about next, and I knocked the whole thing over.
No podcast equipment was harmed in the recording of this video. Dr. Dub, your studio is safe.
Gosh.
Okay, so where were we, Fran? In my notes, I just looked down at my outline and saw the words destructive habits. So now I'm like, why did I type that? Okay, let's see what that's about.
I'm still sweating. Oh my God.
We're gonna give Fran a minute to get some water. Do some obnoxious water drinking.
This is not going to be edited out because you're
just
laughing.
not.
We're all laughing at nothing right now. Okay.
Drink, Fran, drink.
Hang on, y'all listen. Here it comes.
I hope they can hear that. I'm trying to make noise in my swig and I can't. What kind of bottle is that?
I've got a 99-cent water bottle from the dollar store.
Well, it's a beautiful color and it's working for you.
That's what you get, y'all. You get an obnoxious sound when you don't go the big swig or Stanley water bottle.
Did you see all those Stanleys selling out in 5 seconds? What in the world?
No, y'all. I can't even. I don't even have a comment about that other than what's wrong with us?
I know. The things we fixate on.
Okay, I'm serious now.
So,
Let's get back
we're
to
going to
it.
talk about new rhythms for 2024.
Okay,
we're going to follow up on some of the things that we said we wanted to do.
Yes, and let me just pause and say, several of you all have watched that little bonus episode that we put up in YouTube. So if you haven't seen that, we do unpack a lot of disciplines. I don't know that that's what we're about to talk about, but just if you follow us on YouTube, go look for that 15-minute bonus episode, and you can literally watch us in a professional manner, not knocking things over, talk to you about some of this stuff. So, okay.
Yeah, and we share specifics, like this is the actual journal that we each use, and these are the devotions, and just what, not that you need to do what we're doing unless you want to, but just some ideas.
Yeah.
You may want to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about you did a great job talking about areas for growth that really has challenged me because I had not been that focused on, hey, I don't need to just let the year happen. I need to make sure I've grown somewhere and that I can point to that growth or that I'm headed in some kind of direction. And of course, being in our Bibles is a big part of our day. Just when you're not in the Word, your life just tends to
and that
fall
all by
apart.
itself may be like somebody listening is like that's the thing that I need to focus on first and foremost. I can't handle a list of more than one thing. But if you're going to do anything and you know that's an area of discipline that you need to be in, do that. Start there and don't worry about anything else because
That's
it
right.
just, again, it gets to be too overwhelming and you want to quit.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Your one word is Jesus.
Listen.
Your one
thank you.
discipline can be open my Bible.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go back to the destructive habits that I couldn't
Okay.
figure out why this was in my outline. I read somewhere this week that destructive habits drastically decrease and positive habits increase when you spend 4 days a week or more in God's Word.
I believe that.
Yeah,
And,
sure we do.
give yourself grace. Like, again, if 1 week it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the next week is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, just give yourself some grace while you're developing something new because when you're developing a new habit or a new discipline, it's not natural. Your brain is like, what are we doing? What's going on? I don't understand. I don't know if you follow Dr. Caroline Leaf on Instagram. She's phenomenal. I don't know, psychologist, something. I don't know, super professional. Love her. She said something like the other day on Instagram. She said, it's really not 30 days that will establish a habit in your brain. It's 60.
Wow.
So I think we've all grown up hearing a certain number, and that number could be evolving over time with the way our lives are and society is and we're functioning as humans. But I thought, you know what? It really kind of grabbed my attention in that don't expect immediate results or even comfortability in that discipline. It's gonna take a minute. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. whatever it is you're doing. 60 days apparently is the new thing, according to Dr. Caroline Leaf, to establish a new habit.
Well, there's a lot of grace in that. And what's fun that I recognized as I was reading back over last year's journal is some of the things that I was praying for the Lord to help me do. And I was like, well, now I just do that automatically.
Yeah.
But once upon a time, that was really hard for me.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
So it's also fun when one day you're like, oh, well, now it's just a reflex.
That's right. And then, yes, absolutely. Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
It can happen.
Mm-hmm.
It will happen. We can do hard things, people. Whatever that looks like.
And we can do hard things.
One thing that I've done within the Bible app, it will let you set reminders. So, like if I've not opened my Bible app by a certain time of day, it will let me know.
Mine goes off at 5:30 a.m., so depending on the day of the week, what time I'm getting up, it's one of the first things that I see. Is this a good time to pause and talk about notifications?
I was just going to say, we need to talk about notifications.
Are we
Let's come back to that in just a minute. Let's talk. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's in the outline.
Okay.
We are coming for you, notifications. And we've got some funny stories about that this week, too.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere, I should have written down, I should have cited my sources. I don't know where all this is coming from, but
someone really wise.
Someone wise on the internet said, we're getting to know him so we can know his will for us. That's the whole point. And none of these things are like.
And that's scriptural out of Romans 12 too.
Absolutely.
That is very much scriptural. So.
And I journaled this just to start asking myself a question as I'm evaluating. If I'm made in his image, how is he shaping me to display his character? And evaluate each day, like, did I honor God with my life today?
Right.
And what did that look like?
That's growth. That's
that
a
is
discipline growth. That I typically, not every day, I'll do at the end of the day. Remember, I've talked about how when I let my dogs out,
yes,
I'll evaluate the day.
Under the starry nights.
Under the starry nights. Now, right now, it's just doom and gloom and cloudy and gray. And, I'm not out there for very long. But it is a habit to, at the end of the day, consider, Lord, where do I need to grow? Where did I not honor you well? Where did I let my emotions get the best of me? And oh, law, how quickly the day can come back to you, good and bad. But it is, because if you're not evaluating yourself in that way, big or small, then you don't know. You're not paying attention. You've got to have some self-awareness to your growth.
Did we say growth is your word for the year?
No, I don't. My word is Jesus.
Well, I think it's also growth. Your word is like your theme in my mind. And I just keep thinking, you know what, 2024 and Fran, we got some Farmer Fran growth happening.
I'm going to grow in Jesus.
You are. That Jesus is always your word.
Yeah.
I will not take that away from you.
And I kind of briefly told you the other day that I'm listening to this guy because part of what happens, y'all, when you get to be, I will be 54 next month. And what happens in this time of your life is you understand the preciousness of life, the gift of it. And for me, it's like I've awakened to, I don't know how much time I have, and I want to learn as much as I possibly can, and I want to serve the Lord, and I want to do what he has for me. So anyway, I listened to this guy. He helps inspire, encourage, as you grow and learn and all the things. Well, he said, and this is relevant to all of us, but when I'm living in that mindset, how you hear things and you're like, oh, okay, that's for me. He said, am I learning at the level that is required for the future me that I'm trying to develop?
Oh, say that again.
Am I learning at the level that is required for the future me that I am trying to build? And of course, from a scriptural Christian worldview, I'm saying that, I'm holding that with the Lord. I'm not holding that separately. It's all of this is being filtered through the Lord. So if you're learning and listening to people that are not necessarily moving, they're not like, I'm a Christian self-help person or whatever, like, that's okay. Just filter it through the lens of your walk with the Lord. So when he said that, I was like, no, last year, I don't think that I learned at the level that I was required to grow. And so now I have to challenge myself, personally in our ministry and spiritually and with work, family, all the things, and it's just something as simple as, Fran, finish the dang book that you pick up. Like, read it. Get off your phone. Read the dang book.
And I have to, with my crazy personality and my 3 Enneagram 3s out there listening, I have to fight the feeling of, I failed at that, and go, I have opportunity to grow this year in that way.
That's right.
So,
or even just like, I didn't do well in that last week, and that's going to happen.
Or yesterday.
And so, every day is a new opportunity for growth. Every day.
Moment by moment.
Yes, moment by moment. And so just to be self-aware, to understand who you are and where you are trying to grow, and have the people around you that you can not, they don't even have to necessarily hold you accountable, even though that would be super fantastic. I don't expect Angela to hold me accountable to all the things that I want to grow in, but you'll listen to me well, you'll encourage me, and, I'm thankful for that. It's up to me, not you, to do the work. It's up to me.
But it's so great to have somebody cheering you on and calling it out. And
and just going, oh, wow, I'm really proud of you. Like, I've never thought about that, or whatever.
Okay, here we go. You ready for the big thing we're learning right now? Well, the closer you are to a person, the better you understand them. The more we get to know each other, the better we understand each other. The more we get to know God, the more we spend time in His Word, the better we understand Him. We are never going to get to that point if I read one sentence and then check my phone. And then I can't even read a book anymore. Yeah. I get through a paragraph and I'm like, I need to check my phone.
Right.
Goodness
Our brains
gracious.
are so messed up now when it comes to the ability to have
focus. My word was focus. How many years ago?
Well, last year.
It needs to happen again.
It's just that constant break in the pattern of thinking.
Squirrel.
And we can't hold on to a thought, a concept, something we're reading, because we're so used to, even if you don't get a notification, you just have a habit to look at your phone.
How will we ever read, much less meditate? Like, our mind to meditate has to mull something over. If we can get anxious, we know how to meditate. We're just meditating on the wrong things and the negative things. Why are we not giving ourselves whatever we need to be able to go, hold on, I'm going to take the luxury and rest right here in this beautiful, peaceful promise from the Lord. Oh, wait, I need to go check this. I need to make my grocery list. I need to see what email that is.
Okay, so what have we done, Angela? We haven't told the people.
We have not told the people. We have
we're a whole 2 days, 3 days into this, y'all, so we'll tell you, we'll update you how this goes throughout the journey here.
Because Dr. Dub is our unofficial life coach. We have turned off all almost all of the notifications on our phones. This may or may not sound like a big deal, so I'm going to say it one more time. We have turned off almost every single notification on our cell phones. If you go into your settings and look at all the notifications you get, and y'all, this gave control freak, entrepreneur, you name it, whatever my role and responsibility, I think I just maybe thought I was more important than I am, because I was like, well, that's great, Fran, but I can't do that. So then after you said you were going to do it, I thought, okay, I'm going to go through this next hour, and whatever notification I think I need, I'm going to see if this is really adding value or really something that is required of me. And within 5 minutes, I had a notification about something shipping from Amazon. And I had a notification about something else. And I had an email from somebody that I did not need to even look at, much less respond to, because it kept, every time I would get into a sentence and then a notification would happen, I was like, oh, like I could feel my heart rate just like spike for a minute and almost like visibly jump and go, oh, hang on, I need to look at this.
Is that dopamine hit that they talk about? I don't know what I'm talking about, y'all.
No, 100% it is. And I'm an addict. I need to stop thinking that I'm Superwoman who just has to go save the world and all the things and put out all the fires, because it's exhausting.
I think ultimately when we get those notifications, it's consciously, subconsciously telling us I'm important. And so
I'm a necessary savior to these people in this moment.
I am important and I'm needed, or I need to be notified, even if it's Amazon. Like, you just go, oh,
I need to know this.
Okay, yes. And it's awful. And I can't remember, Dr. Dub will definitely remember, but I was up here in the library one day this week, and I think I came to ask him something, tell him something. I can't remember. Anyway, somehow in the conversation between myself and his admin assistant, Mandy Benefield, we were somehow came up, and I said to him, this concept came up, and I said, do you still have your notifications turned off, like all of them? And he said, yes, like all of them, all notifications. I need you all to know that this is the president of a university.
Right.
Who is managing more than any of our minds can get, because that's a level of constant notifications. And anyway, he said, yeah, I don't have any notifications turned on.
That is so foreign to us.
And I asked him, I said, do you have a hard time focusing, and accomplishing the task at hand? And he said, no, I don't have a problem doing that. And I said, okay, well, I was up here to work on Leadership Summit that we'll talk about that the next recording. I'm doing a session on taking risks and doing hard things in leadership. But so I was up here preparing for that, and I told him, I said, okay, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to start to prepare, and I'm going to turn off social media. That's all I was going to do. And that's all I have done, because that's the time sucker for me. I need my people, my children, my family to have access to me through text. But that's not very often. Hang on, y'all. I'm about to sneeze. Angela, say something.
I was just going to say that the funny part
sorry
to me in all this silence and the notifications is when I turned off everything that included our primary form of communication, which is Voxer.
We undid that.
And Fran had sent me 2 Voxers that I didn't even know about until the next day, and I had responded to her on something without listening to the Voxer first, so I had to say, I'm so sorry. I'm not just being defiant of what you asked me to do. I didn't know I had a Voxer request from you. So I did have to turn back on Voxer, and I do want my kids to be able to reach me, so I turned on text. But it was so interesting to, if nothing else, if your takeaway from this is pay attention to the notifications I get. How did they make me feel? Was it really necessary to respond in that moment? I'm so obsessive with my phone. I'm going to check it within the next 30 minutes to an hour anyway, if not sooner. Like, can it not just wait a little bit longer? Well, I'm having to baby step away from it.
What I found, even when I went to sit down and work on this session that I'm leading, I turned off the notifications, and I still had my phone facing up. Now, I will also say this. Dr. Dub will be on this show. We're recording with him in February, and we're going to unpack some of this and what he's learned and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be a fabulous conversation. But what I learned just sitting there like 3 minutes after turning notifications off, I just like touched my phone just to like see what was there. And I was like, why am I doing this? Like, my brain
Muscle memory.
My brain is so trained to just even, it's not like I was looking to see what time it was.
It's been more than 60 days and we have created a habit, but we can reverse it.
Yeah, we can reverse it. And so here we are. Y'all, we're struggling today over here. We just got all worked up earlier.
Pardon us.
But even now, however many days I'm into it, I've already forgotten, like, oh, I've got to go into Instagram or Facebook to see if somebody has commented or said something. And so I've already forgotten, because I don't see a number beside that app that I'm like, well, this is beautiful. So I haven't like made huge progress, but just seeing or understanding, feeling like, oh, I'm not touching my phone nearly as much. One of the things that, y'all, God help us. I promise we're not
for
sick.
Our voices, no.
One of the things that Mandy showed me in his office was how many times that you pick up your phone. It's somewhere in your settings. It was a horrible number.
I do not want to know that statistic.
I wish I could remember what it was, but it was close to 100 times a day.
Wow.
Is like the average person.
Oh, mine's more. I
good
promise.
gosh.
I know, it's horrible.
Okay. Anyway.
I want to be aware of that, though. And, we were kind of joking about the Apple iPhone, the Apple symbol. It's the forbidden fruit. It's the, Eve and, the quest for knowledge. I just want to know everything and have power and control, and let that Apple symbol be a reminder. Hey.
Well, you said, and you remember what you said, because you said it just like it just flew out of your mouth at 7:30 in the morning. you just said, I don't want to be a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a puppet to this phone and just like doing whatever it tells me I'm supposed to be doing. And it's like you decide what what you want to have control over.
Yeah.
But dang, we have let that thing control us. And did we talk about the average person scrolling 2 hours a day on their phone?
That's
like
insane.
Mindless, not like for work or like trying to learn something, but 2 hours a day. I said that to Dub, and we both were just like, that's so much. And you times that by 30 in a month, all the time that we've wasted.
And then the things we say we don't have time for.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we're going to get rid of distractions and take control.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking charge.
We're going to do it together.
Because when, how do we hear a still small voice?
Yeah.
If it's just loud and chaotic and constant.
You can't discern, was that me? Did I hear that from someone else? Was that the Lord? No, you don't know.
And this is something else that I do want to point out, because I thought this was kind of interesting. And maybe y'all are a lot more gracious than I am, probably so. But as Fran and I have started to wake up to this blind spot, I would call it, something that we just, probably could have and should have been aware of, but we're not. As I'm starting to wake up from it and make these changes and go, okay, I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes paying attention to what notifications I have and how they affect me. Well, that does not mean that the people in my home or around me have the same self-awareness and the same commitment to this.
That's right.
So I've gotten really irritated with other people doing the same thing that I was doing 4 days ago.
Right.
So we also have to, and this is not just phones, this is any area of growth for us.
Right.
Because we're so aware of it and working on it. We've got to remember and give those people grace and not try to be Jesus Jr. and say, you need to stop this.
Right. Or just get prideful.
Or frustrated.
Yeah, get prideful and like look at, even just within yourself, you're not verbally saying it out loud, but just feeling like so good about, look at me and all that I'm learning and how I'm growing, and you're an idiot and you're not.
I got so irritated with someone I will not name for just, I was like, will you just put your phone down and look at me?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
And that's something, we'll talk about that with Dr. Dub, but he never has his phone out ever. Wow. I can't wait to just get little tidbits of things from him. But he even said that day in his office, this last thing we'll say, and we're going to move on because good grief, we're at 31 minutes. He'll leave his phone in another room while he goes and does something else. So it's not with him. He's got such discipline. But anyway, we can't wait for that episode.
Well, Sarah Roberts shared this on her story one day this week, and it stuck with me. She said, one way we know that we've forgotten the gospel of grace is when your sin bothers me more than my own.
Ooh.
And I thought, okay, ouch, my toes are bleeding now. But that's something to be mindful of, too.
Say it one more time.
The way I know I've forgotten the gospel of grace is when your sin bothers me more than my own.
Yeah. Good old self-awareness.
Okay, we've talked about disciplines. This may be a good way to wrap up, because I read this week in the Up on Waking devotional that we've talked about by Jackie Hill Perry about a discipline, and she worded it in a way as a discipline, and I've never thought about it like this before.
Yeah.
And I want us to talk about it in a minute. She spoke about cultivating the spiritual discipline of remembering.
Yeah.
And I love that. I'm going to read this little snippet from her book, and then I want us to talk about it.
Okay.
The truth is, the immutable nature of God is an anchor. It means at no point in history or at no point in the time to come will God not be good or not able to move. He has and will always be a faithful and just and gracious and powerful God. Just because we change our minds every other minute does not mean that God does. He is the same today as he was then. And so I reckon that the spiritual discipline we'd all do well to cultivate is that discipline of remembering. And isn't that what the Word of God is for? To give us 66 books worth of memories about who God is and how God works, which will inform our faith, so then we can always trust the Lord without hesitation. Think of all the times he has rescued and redeemed you. He can and will do it again, and that is faith.
Yeah. Well, and the scriptures, yes, we have the knowledge. Even just we all know, if you're a believer, we have the basic understanding. We know that God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. He doesn't change. He's got so many characteristics, but his faithfulness is always there. He's always faithful. He's always good. And then, in your own personal walk with him, if you journal, which I highly recommend that you do to some degree or another, because we've both said that we look back at our journal over the previous year, and from just a personal standpoint, we see the hand of God. We see his faithfulness. Therefore, we remember his faithfulness. And so when you move into the next season, you're not as scared because I've remembered. I understand. I'm aware of the journey that we've walked together. And so I can step into that harder space with him unafraid because I know his character. I know who he is. It's beautiful to spend time remembering. But if your brain's like my brain, I can't remember yesterday. Now, if I sat for a minute and really started to recall and remember, I think I could come up with some things. But the beauty of journaling, a prayer journal, is looking back and going, oh, wow, I've forgotten all about that. And that just builds up your faith in him. And it's beautiful.
And it's look what God did, not look what I did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you chosen your verse yet for your prayer spiral?
I did. Yes, I did. I did Joshua 1:9.
Do you know it?
Well, I know, yes.
The gist of it?
Yeah. Fear, a lot of you all know that fear is something that is just very deeply rooted in me. I have to work on fear a lot. And Joshua reminds us to be strong and courageous, to do not be afraid. He is with you wherever you go. And so I take that verse and I say it, I memorize it, I let it sit in my mind so that when I am feeling that fear inside of me, I can just simply say, Fran, remember, God is with you wherever you go. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. I know that. I'm praying it over myself. And then if Angela comes to me and says she's worried about a mediation or she's worried about something in court, well, then I'm praying for her, but I'm taking that scripture because I'm living in it for 2 weeks until I choose the next scripture in my memory verse and for my spiral, then I'm praying that over her too. So
good.
That's my thing. That's my verse right now. It'll change on the 15th. So the 1st and the 15th, I'm choosing something that's very personal for me.
And it's so attainable.
Yeah.
You've set such a good example of that for us. You did a great TikTok on that. If anybody's listening and is on TikTok, Fran did a really good TikTok.
You know
about her
why
spiral.
I can go to TikTok and not be scared as opposed to posting something on Facebook, or because Angela's like the queen, she'll throw something up in a reel. And with ministry, I'm fearful. And that's a whole nother episode. But TikTok, I'm like, nobody can find me there. It's like my hidden
It's
little...
a big, wide ocean.
So I don't worry about... I'm not as afraid to post there. So part of the challenge for me in growing in ministry, I think Angela and I have a lot to say. I'll tell students all the time, I don't know everything, but I'll tell you what I do know. I'll give you what I know. And so part of the growth for me this year is to put myself out there more, because a lot of things float in my head and I'm like, oh, I need to share that. That could be an encouragement, or I need to share this struggle with somebody. This can help somebody else and how I'm navigating it, because that's the beauty of being 54. Let me just pause and say this too real quick as we're wrapping up. I tell you what, this is something that I think we should talk about later, Angela. This whole world that we live in that is so anti-aging, I'm over it. Let me get on my...
Amen. Hey, let's cheers to that one more time.
Let me just say something. Cheers. Right here and right now. I could never be more proud of all that I've learned. And I have learned everything the really hard, painful, horrible way. And so I am so proud of my knowledge and my experience and my life. And I can tell you, this is not anything against anybody that works in that field. I just think it's a very fine line of embracing your age and all that you've experienced, and then like acting like it's not there. Like, we're going to pay the price for this later when we don't know how, we can't appreciate our wisdom that we've gotten through age and experience. So
that's a word.
Yeah. So I'll give you what I have. And so, as silly as it may sound, I'm going to try my hardest to put myself out there more often, whether that's through our Facebook page. I'll let Angela, maybe I'll do a reel. I don't know. TikTok, for whatever reason, I feel like I'm hidden and nobody can find me, but
y'all go find her.
Yeah. And only encourage me, okay? Okay. Anyway.
Be kind.
Yeah.
Well,
would that be fun to talk about in an episode?
Oh, sure.
Aging, like supporting who you are. I saw a horrible video of Madonna at one of her concerts, and I was like, y'all, oh my gosh, we have us a problem.
You have to roll with it.
Yeah.
Like what is the end game when you're putting all these things and products and
she's acting like she's still
needles
25, and I'm like, girl, I don't know how old you are, but that'd be fun. Anyway, okay, I'll stop.
Another conversation for another time.
Because you know what? I'm going to color my hair because I don't want it to be gray. I'm not talking about that. I got to figure out what I am talking about.
Stay tuned, everybody. Well, what a fun conversation.
We so thankful for y'all.
Let's go 2024.
Yeah, we're still going to cheer you on, and we'll come back in March and still cheer us on. And we'll come back in July, August, still cheer us on. Okay, this was so much fun, everybody. We love y'all so much. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you next week. Oh, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. Okay, we record every episode on the campus of Union University. I would love for you to come for a visit. Come see us. You can schedule an appointment, uu.edu, and search campus visits. Let me know you're coming, and I will come find you. Also, if you have done that and you're ready to apply, but you just haven't filled out the application, we've got a fee waiver code for you. It is the word TALK, all capital letters, TALK. Plug that in and you do not have to pay the application fee. Okay, have a super great week. Stay in the Word. See how you need to grow. And of course, have a whole lot of fun. We love you. We'll see you next time.